I always say that the third date is key because then is when you're actually getting to know the real person. Of course, relationships are a crazy concept for me because what do you mean that they don't teach about it in school or anywhere, but just most of the world revolves about relationships. Like, hi. Okay, today we're putting a little bit more of effort in the video. I don't know why, but I'm feeling myself. I feel like the outfit is really nice. We're having some coffee. It's just water, but I want something else. I don't know about the glasses. We're gonna start with, let's see how we finish. But yeah, let's get to the topic because I'm really excited to talk about it. I feel like the last videos that I did in the last like 2-3 months, they have been quite negative, and it makes sense because I've been going through some stuff, so I want to share about my life, and my life has been a little bit more on the sad side, which is fine, but I'm still going through it a bit, but I want to share about the positive aspects of it all. So yeah, let's do it, why not? And I hate when gay people, they meet someone, they go on a date and they're like, oh my god, I just met the most amazing man, like we're gonna be together forever, all this, because it usually, spoiler, it usually doesn't end right. But I'm gonna be that person right now, and that's completely fine because I don't want this to be the main topic, but I'm gonna talk about gay stuff because if not, people click out and I want views. I'm not obsessed, but it feels good to have some validation. So yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna start by talking about how the dating pool, I feel like everything is about perspective, because I remember a couple of months ago I was trying to meet people. Even just last month, not even a couple of months ago, I was trying to meet people, but I was complaining that, oh my god, people are not good enough, or they are ugly, or they don't have a personality, or they make it really difficult to meet, which in a way I still think it's true, at least where I live, here in Helsinki, Finland. This looks cool. But it's all about perspective, because now that I met a really nice guy, I just been on one date, but I'm really excited about this guy. It's all about perspective, because when people tell me, oh my god, I'm in the same situation, but in Spain I don't find any nice people, I think it's all about yourself, how you see things and how you assess the environment in a way, because when you are in a negative headspace, it's really easy to see everything as negative as well. But when you're not, when you're trying to be positive, even if you just fake it, like fake it till you make it is the best advice in the world. Even if everything around you is not as you would like it to be, I think if you force yourself to be positive and to see the bright side in everything, it does help with the situation. Maybe that's just the definition of being delusional, and I confess that I am one, and I'm really proud about it. I don't want to hide that I am, because then life is more beautiful in a way. Checking the piercing, because sometimes it flips and it's backwards, but it's okay. So yeah, I was talking with a couple of friends this morning, and he was saying, I've been on 3 dates, like one was like this, the other one was like that, but I haven't clicked with any of them. So he was saying that he went on 3 dates, and on 2 of them he didn't like the person, but the other person liked him back. So that's awkward, because if you're not interested but the other person is, how do you continue that? But he talked with those people, he's like, I didn't feel any connection, we can keep meeting as friends, but I don't see anything else, which is really mature, and that's great. But it also happened the other way around for my friend, that he liked the date, but the date didn't like him back. And I feel like we're always in this position where we either like someone and this person don't like us back, or the other person like us and we don't like that person, and that's natural, that's just life. But I was talking with this person like, okay, you've been on 3 dates, you like one guy, what happened with the other two that you didn't like? And he was explaining to me like, yeah, one, maybe the personality was not it, maybe with the other one the physicalities, I didn't like him that much. Then I was asking, on a first date it's really difficult to know for sure if you like or you don't like someone, but in his case it feels like he knows really quickly if he likes someone or not. But I really believe that first dates, like, we put a lot of high expectations on first dates when we meet someone, and that's good because we are excited, but there's also not good at all, because if the other person says something that it slightly, like something that you don't like, that you don't vibe with, then the whole conversation can go to the whole date can go to nothing. And I don't think that's a good approach. At least for me, I feel like when I've been on first dates, it's kind of like a performance in a way, because we want to show our best side. We want to showcase that we are beautiful, that we're intelligent, that we are mature, that we have a lot of good attributes. But in a way, it's what I was saying before, it's fake it until you make it, because for first dates, we want to show a good impression. But for me, it's really interesting. I always say that the third date is key, because then is when you're actually getting to know the real person. Of course, you're not gonna lie on the first dates, but on the third one and the upcoming dates is when you really get to know the other person, like for real, when they put their defense a bit lower, like when they are not as on the fence, I guess, and they are more vulnerable and they are more themselves. Not saying that at the beginning they were not, but you get what I mean, luckily. So I was insisting to my friend like, okay, with these two people that you didn't like but they like you back, why not giving them a chance? Like, why not going on a second date and let's see what happens, because it can surprise you a lot. Some people, they get really nervous and anxious on first dates, but then if you meet them more, maybe they are more relaxed and they are more themselves and they get comfortable. And I feel like people should really give second chances. And this is so hypocritical of me, because I never give second chances. I remember when I was much younger, back when I was living in Spain, I lived in Barcelona for 5-6 years. I was going on dates, and when I was seeing the minimum, the slightest red flag, I'm like, okay, you're out. We don't connect in this thing. Even if it was really small, we don't connect on this thing. On to the next, because there's so many people in the world that we always feel like we need to connect on absolutely everything with the person that we are with. But now that I'm in my 30s, I really think that you need to connect on the big values, but you don't need to be aligned in absolutely everything. Is this stupid to say? Like, I get it if someone needs to be on the same page with absolutely everything, but I kind of like it when I'm dating someone and we are a bit different in some senses, in different ways. Again, with the core values, with the core things that you believe in, of course you need to be aligned, or at least you need to talk about it and respect the other person's opinion in that area. But for the rest, I think I'm gonna venture to say that it's good to like different things and to be different people at the end of the day, because if you are looking for someone that is just like you and likes the exact same things that you like, that's not gonna be an interesting relationship. Maybe it's gonna be a comfortable one, maybe it's gonna be an easy relationship, but it's not gonna be a good one, because I like when people challenge me in a way, or they are not forcing, but they are encouraging me to do different things that they like and that maybe I'm not into so much. So I really like it. But you don't start talking about these things until you are on, I don't know, third, fourth date. At the beginning, it's really superficial. We're getting to know each other, as it should be, I think. But I'm excited to get to know better these people know this one guy that I'm meeting. This is the other thing that I do when I'm meeting someone. So I was on Tinder, I was talking with different people, and now this is a bit rude from my part, from my side. I think I'm ditching the glasses. This is not the nicest from my part, but I went on a date on Wednesday and I really like the guy. So now I don't want to talk with anyone anymore. But of course, I was engaging on different conversations before this guy, so I don't think it's the nicest to just, I don't know, delete the app or be like, okay, I'm meeting someone else, so fuck you, basically, with other words. I don't think that's the nicest thing to do, but I also don't want to waste their time, and I don't want them to waste my time, because when I like someone, I want to put my full attention on that person. We're talking about meeting other people, as in potential boyfriends, potential relationships. I hate when people do this with every aspect of their life. Like, if you have a boyfriend or you're getting to know someone, it's really nice and you should be excited. Thankfully, you are excited. That's a good thing, of course, but when you are into one person, when you're starting a relationship or you are meeting someone regularly, and then you forget about everything else, I think that's fucked up, and I think a lot of people do that. And with my friends, when I see that they are getting excited about someone and they might be starting to forget about other things, let's say friendships, let's say gym, let's say prioritizing yourself in general, I'm really quick to clock them, because for me, it's been really easy. If, like, I can like people and I want to be with them a lot, but I'm gonna put myself first always. There's some, I don't know if I'm that strict sometimes, but let's say if I'm meeting someone, I still want to go a lot to the gym. I still want to, I don't know, at night, usually when it comes to 9 p.m. or so, I don't touch my phone, or at least I don't go into WhatsApp. I prefer to be with myself. Like, all these little routines, all these little things that I like, I want to keep doing them. I don't want to compromise for another guy. Of course, at some point, eventually in the future, if you talk about living together and all this stuff, yes, you have to sit and have a conversation about routines and big changes. But at the beginning, I don't know, I've seen it a lot. For some people, when they meet someone, that someone is their whole priority, and they change absolutely everything about themselves, their routines and all this stuff. I don't think that's the way to do it, but I also understand it in a way, because it's so easy when you like someone, when you're excited about someone, to just focus your whole attention on that person. But that's not the way to do it. So if my friends are doing that, or I feel like they might start doing that, I'll be really quick to clock them, and I hope that my friends do the same to me, because of course I think I'm pretty wise, I think I'm pretty smart and stuff, but I'm not perfect. I'm so far from perfect. So I really value the people around me when they can clock me, when they are like, okay, this is great, but we have to tell you this. I really appreciate that. Because even sometimes, let's say when you are infatuated, I don't know what's the word, when you're in love, I guess, it's really easy to not see the full picture. You just focus on one person, and that's great. But from the outside, from your friend's perspective, it's really useful to be like, okay, it's great that you're meeting someone, but remember this, remember that. So yeah, I do it to my friends, but hopefully they also do it to me as well. Yeah, this is a bit, I don't know how to start this one, but not about the guy that I'm seeing now. Let's start this way. But in general, if I could build a man, it would be as tall as me, but not more tall. We don't need to get into nationalities, races, all of that, because I don't think it's important, and I don't want to get cancelled before I even have some viewers, some subscribers. Yeah, it would get some. If I could build a man, it would have these attributes. We don't need to get too specific, but that's my picture of my perfect man. But of course, if I'm meeting people that are really interesting and they don't fill out all the requirements, they don't check all the marks, And that's really unfair for them and for me because I'm putting the pressure on them. And these are things that the other person can control. Let's say, for example, with height, like I'm 184. If I'm meeting people that are much shorter than that, maybe they are a wonderful person, maybe they are the love of my life, but just because they are short, I will not be that interested. When you think about it, it's crazy because of course physical attributes are really important, but height, for example, it's something that people can control. Like of course you can put heels or you can put some kind of boots and be a little bit taller, but for people to be so obsessed about height, knowing that it's something that you cannot change once you're out of puberty, isn't it wild to think about these kind of things? Or let's say about hair, there's a lot of bald people and there's nothing wrong with that, but there are some of my friends, for example, they really don't like when the people they're about to meet, they go on dates and the other person is bald, which is fair. We all have preferences, but isn't it crazy to think that just because someone is bald, we are not interested in them? And baldness is not something that you can change. I completely understand if someone is really scruffy, like they are not taking care of themselves, you can really tell that they are not paying any attention to how they present themselves. That's okay to dislike because that's something that the other person chooses to not pay attention to, if that makes sense. But with other things that are out of your control, let's say for me, for example, this is a really silly thing, but I really like when people have green or blue eyes, not just regular brown like myself. But that's crazy to say because it's something that the other person cannot control. And of course, it's okay for me to have preferences. Or let's say someone has a beard and I really like it. If the other person cannot grow a beard, they are just out because I don't like that, but it's something that the other person cannot control. Am I making any sense? I feel like I'm not making any sense, but hopefully some people will understand me. But I just think sometimes that it's crazy that we focus so much on things that the other person just were born with it, or for life circumstances they just have this thing they cannot change. But for some people it's so important. I don't know, I feel like I'm going on a rant for absolutely nothing. But yeah, to keep it positive, I will finish by saying that I'm really excited about a guy that I'm meeting, and it's also a bit scary to be excited about someone because I'm 31 and I've been on one relationship, maybe 1.5, I'm not sure, maybe 2, I don't know, let's say one relationship, and it lasted for 1.5 years and it was great. So I'm not the most experienced with relationships, so going into one or getting excited about someone, it's scary, I'll be honest, because I don't know if I'm equipped with the right knowledge, materials, whatever. And it is scary because you want to do a good job, but you don't know if you are doing that. The only thing that I can do is be myself, as corny as it sounds, and pay attention to the other person, as in listening carefully, like trying to meet their needs. I don't know, but being yourself, I guess it's the key, and just hoping that you vibe and you have fun. I don't know, relationships are a crazy concept for me because what do you mean that they don't teach about it in school or anywhere, but just most of the world revolves about relationships. Like if you want a family, of course you need a partner. If you want kids, of course you need a partner. You need to build relationships, and it's something that we just, society just does, like everyone does it, and we are, not me, but in general people are good at it. You just go to clubs, you just go to meet friends of friends, and you meet special people, and then after meeting someone that you are attracted to, you talk, and maybe you connect, and you go on dates, and then you live together, and then you have kids, and you grow all together, and all this stuff. It's a crazy concept because people just assume that it's gonna happen, but some people, I am some people have some difficulties with that. I'm not saying it as a bad thing, as a, oh my god, people should feel sad because I don't have a boyfriend. It's not the case. But it's just really interesting that people are so good at it, and they go from partner to partner, boyfriend to boyfriend. And then there's other people who are just struggling their whole lives, or they are not struggling as in they cannot meet people, or just that they cannot meet people, or also they are meeting wrong people, but some people are desperate. This is another thing. I was talking with a friend this morning that I'm really grateful in a way that I didn't end up in a bad relationship just because I'm lonely. I would rather 1,000 times to be lonely than to be in a bad relationship, because there's a lot of people who just, they are with people because they can't be alone, and they continue this relationship, they get married, they have kids, whatever, and they are sad their whole life. But on the other side, let's say my grandparents, for example, I'll finish soon, I swear. But let's say my grandparents, my grandma, she's not gonna watch this video, but I don't wanna air her business to the whole world. But my grandma is 93, 94, she's old, but she's doing great. And she didn't like, I don't know if I have the full story correctly, so forgive me, grandma, if you're watching this. My grandma didn't like her husband that much, but back then you had to marry someone, so I guess it was not an arranged thing, but I don't think she loved him. It just happened for some reason. They got married and they had kids, and then the kids, like my mom, they had other kids, and then these other kids, my cousins and my brother and myself, they are having more kids. So my grandma has been able to be with grandchildren and with a lot of people, and she's raised a lot of different generations, which I think it's so beautiful to be able not to just see your kids grow, not just your grandkids, but also your great, how is it called, like your great kids, your grandchildren. Oh my god, you know what I mean, like a lot of generations, let's say it as that. And she is the happiest when she gets to spend time with the little ones, and I think it's so beautiful that she's been able to do this and to have the time, like just quality time with great grandchildren. Why is it so difficult for me to pronounce this? So I think in a way, question mark, it was worth it to marry someone that he didn't like that much. Like he liked him, it was okay, but he was not looking for this passion, he was not looking for this connection, for this click that I'm looking for. But it ended up working really well, because now she's really happy because she spent a really meaningful life, again, not just with her kids, but with her kids and with her kids, great grandchildren, which I think is really beautiful. So sometimes it is worth it to sacrifice something out of your life, because let's say if a single person just goes single their whole life, it feels, I shouldn't think that way, but it feels empty in a way, because you have not been able to create more life. Of course, you can have a really meaningful life by yourself, but when you compare it to other people like my grandma, who had a lot of children, and the children got more children, and children of the children got more children, and she's really happy with that. I don't know, it makes you think if, I don't know, I guess it's just different times. I'm gonna ended up in here because I'm not making sense. I'm usually not making sense, but now I'm especially not making sense. So I guess that's it. It's a weird one. Hopefully it makes sense when I edit it and put it together. But I don't edit these videos as much, so let's see. I'll hope for the best. But yeah, thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, all these things. And see you on the next one. Bye bye.